Hello, everyone. My name is Caitlin, and my topic is challenges that middle school children who have autism face in school. My age group was adolescents, so I decided to focus on the middle school age kids. The reason why I picked this topic is because I babysit for an autistic child, and I used to work one on one with autistic students in school. So this topic kind of has a little special place in my heart, and I decided to do some more research and see what it's all about for myself. Before getting started, I wanted to show a video. It's just a quick clip of an interview with a student with autism, just so you can see. He talks about some of his challenges in school and different things. So let me get this going.
Hello, I am Austin Walls, and this is Hunter Walls, my little brother. He is a child with autism, and I'll be interviewing him for my financial literacy class in Mrs. Betas. Now, Hunter, I'm going to be asking you a few questions. Do you mind?
Yep, I will.
Okay, here's my first question. Is school hard for you?
Yes.
Well, okay, so why is it hard for you?
Because every time I do something wrong and in my homework have answers wrong, I just want to rush through it and get it over with. But when I have to get back to them, I have to figure out some answers, and I need some teachers' help.
Okay, thank you, and here's your next question. Do you have any friends at school?
Yes, and I only have 4 friends, and the 4 friends are Maria, Drake, Joe, and Brendan.
Okay, thank you. And what do you enjoy to do inside and outside school?
Gym, because we do swimming. We go in the health room to do about drugs, smoking, and alcohol, and we even go into the gym and then do some arts courses things.
Okay, thank you. And has anyone made fun of you or bullied you at school or outside of school?
Yes.
Can you tell me a time?
A time somebody in the bus, and I was right here, and then when the bus, and then he got, and then he looked at me, and he touched me, and says, "Teach us," and then he walked away, which is really stupid. And then I came back and I back to him. I mean, I don't know why he keeps doing that. It's so annoying. I don't know why he got that idea from. So this is just absolutely annoying.
Okay, and what happens when you get angry or get a meltdown?
Nobody listens to me because all I want was to finish the homework and I have to come back and do it again.
Yeah, but what happens when you get an actual meltdown? What do you do?
I try to calm down, try to take deep breaths, but it doesn't work. It's my problem, my life, and my stuff.
Okay, and what do you think autism is?
Autism is a thing in that you're nice, have friends, and try to be normal. But as autism is when you're mean, rude, and then saying mean things to your friends, and let's see, and big yells. That's why.
Okay, and what do you think when people say you have autism? What do you think when people say Hunter has autism?
Well, the reason why they're saying that is because I'm very angry, very mean, and very loud. Because when you say that, the people get scared and they run away, and then they told their parents that this has autism because by doing that, hey, you have to be nice, good, and then have good school days.
Well, thank you, Hunter, for this interview. I'm pretty sure my class will enjoy watching this. I am Austin Walls, and that is Hunter Walls. Thank you for watching.
So this kind of just shows you what a student with autism may face in a school setting. To get back to the PowerPoint, The presentation overview. Today we're going to talk about what autism is, how it affects children, the stage of Erikson's theory and how it is affected, the academic, social, and behavioral challenges in school, the resources that schools can offer the autistic kids. I was able to have an interview with my friend who is a teacher. She's a special ed teacher in the middle school. So she gave me some great tips and resources that I'll share with you guys. And what is the social worker's responsibility? So what is autism? Autism and autism spectrum disorder are complex disorders of brain development. Basically, autism is looked at as an umbrella disorder because there's so many different variations you can have from this illness. You could be very severe or you could be high functioning. It all depends on how it affects you as the person. Autism has roots in early brain development, but obvious signs emerge between 2 and 3 years old. Usually they say the earlier the better it is to get diagnosed and to find out to do early intervention, but ultimately the most signs come between 2 and 3 years old. The statistics are 4 to 5 times more common among boys than girls, and there is an estimated 1 out of 42 boys and 1 out of 182 girls diagnosed with autism in the United States. Autism spectrum disorder, which is the whole umbrella of autism, affects over 3 million individuals in the United States. So as you can see, this number is pretty high, and it does affect a lot of people. The causes of autism, unfortunately, there's not one particular cause that they found can cause autism. They have found with research that changes in your genes or mutations in your genes can be linked to autism. There is clear connections between autism risk genes and environmental factors. Environmental factors meaning the parental age of both the mom and dad, if the mom is sick during the pregnancy, and difficulties during childbirth, particularly oxygen deprivation to the infant's brain during childbirth. Also, it did suggest to take prenatal pregnancy pills. They found a link between the pills and autism as well. It is very important for pregnant mothers to take the pills. This is just a quick statistics and a little picture of, you could see how many people are affected with autism and the autism spectrum disease. So it's 1 in 68 people in the United States, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. So how it affects a child. Autism can affect a child in very different ways. Like I said, there's high and low. Basically, this is just an overview. It's characterized in varying degrees in social interaction, verbal and nonverbal communication, and repetitive behaviors. A lot of times you'll see an autistic child have maybe like a blanket or a tag, or they're fixated on an object, and that's a sign for autism. Intellectual disability, motor coordination, attention spans, physical issues, and stomach problems. Fortunately, some people with ASD excel in visual skills, music, math, and art. They have numerous skills. A lot of them are very, very smart. A lot of kids also have sensory issues, which could be, they're sensitive to loud noises or bright lights. It's all different. It depends on the individual. How it's connected to the Erikson theory, the stage that goes along with adolescence is referred to as identity and role confusion. Usually what happens is the individual is exploring who they are and developing their sense of identity. So as we come into the adolescent stage, you're trying to figure out who you are, what you want to be, what do you like, what don't you like, what do you want to do with your life. Oftentimes, individuals that are on the spectrum lack social awareness. Now, I'm linking this through the fact that as adolescents, you spend a lot of time with your friends. Your peer groups are very important. They're cliquey. You kind of grow together as a group with your friends. If your friend doesn't like something, you may not like something. If your friend likes something, you may like something. And you kind of base your opinions and your likes on what your friends do and aren't doing, and liking and not liking. individuals with autism have a problem with peers and interacting, so this could affect it through that. They may not be able to figure out who they are because they may not know the options of what there is to be out there because of the lack of the friendship. Developing who you are requires the individual to associate and interact with their peers. Like I said, it's hard for some autistic individuals to have a peer relationship, and with that happening, it may be hard for them to determine who they want to be, what they like, what they don't like, and how they want to act. Also, another thing is they may not be able to verbalize who they are. In particular, like some autistic people aren't they're nonverbal, so they may have a hard time saying to somebody what they want to be, what they want to do, and how they want to act. So that's the link between Erikson's theory. The academic challenges autistic individuals face in school. There's a lot of challenges that autistic individuals can face in school. Like I said, the spectrum runs from high functioning to low functioning, so it all pretty much depends on the individual, but this is just an overview of the difficulties they can face. Difficulties engaging in the classroom. This is due to the challenges in filtering unnecessary information. When you're a teacher and when you're talking to a group of people, there's certain things that you need to say that isn't necessarily as important to the topic as other information. Some autistic kids have trouble like deferring between those things, and they may filter their brain with nonsense stuff that they don't need and not take in the things that they do need, the things that they should be learning. Lack of motivation, task avoidance, and disruptive behavior. This is categorized as they don't have the capability of sitting down and focusing on a work for a long period of time. Also, the disruptive behaviors, a lot of autistic kids have outbreaks, and because they can't express their feelings. Also, when I talked about the fixation stuff, they may be fixated on their pen spinning on their desk or the clock moving. So it's hard for them to focus in on the task in front of them. There's also challenges in learning new material. Because of the cognitive part of this disorder, it affects cognitive flexibility or processing speed. So sometimes autistic individuals, their brains aren't as fast as typical individuals, and they may not be as flexible to move information back and forth while the teacher is teaching. They also have difficulty successfully completing work. They may need extra time. They may need, some assistance for this. They may need extra time because of the disruptive behaviors or the fixations on something. So they're just some of the challenges that autistic children do face. The behavioral and social challenges autistic individuals face in school are conduct disorders, known as CD, and oppositional defiant disorder, which is ODD. There's high levels of anxiety, not being able to appreciate and understand the feelings and thoughts of others. And what I mean by that is empathizing with others. A lot of autistic individuals can't understand how other people are feeling and don't know how to comprehend what they say and how they can affect other people by the words that they say. Not being able to communicate efficiently with peers. Like I said, they lack peer awareness and social skills for that. And they struggle with the period of adolescence altogether. I wrote this because, it's hard to go through adolescence as a typical individual. It's hard because you're going through the hormone changes and all that crazy stuff. So having autism really, really puts a little hump in that period of time. So the modifications within the schools, like I said, I had an interview with my friend. She's a teacher, a special education teacher in a middle school. So she gave me a lot of the tips that she uses in her own classroom. She has some autism kids and some kids on the spectrum in her room. She said the most important thing is structure in the classroom. The kids need to know how things are ran, and they need to know that, at 11 o'clock they're going to eat lunch, and 11:15 they're going to throw the trash away. That's generally for every kid, but but with kids with autism, it really, really helps them. It's important to have support for organization. My friend told me that instead of making them just look at the PowerPoint and write notes from that, she actually creates an outline for them so they can follow that and take notes on that outline. This helps them so they're not constantly staring at the screen and not filtering the important and non-important things. She also provides extra time for tests. They're allowed at any amount of time that they need to take the test. She also provides separate areas for them to take tests because to eliminate the distractions around the room and the other things that can like filter in their mind instead of taking the test. Just teaching modifications in general is important to remember. A lot of times now they're having mainstream and inclusion classrooms. Inclusion classrooms is a classroom that just has all special ed kids in it. But mainstream classrooms, which is really, really pushed in the school district, is when special ed classes are combined with general ed classes. This happens, they do it because they have a general ed teacher and also a special ed teacher in the classroom for the children. IEPs and 504s are important. IEPs, is an individualized plan for the student and for the individual who needs that extra time. And a 504 is just a guideline of, modifications that individual may need. Now, my friend did say that not everyone in her class that has autism has an IEP or a 504, but some of them do. I put putty because she said that there's this putty out there that autistic kids can have and put in their hands while they're learning, while the teacher's teaching. This saves them from a distraction, just keeps their hands busy. Also, you could put resistant bands on their chairs and they can kick that while the lesson is going on to just have their body moving and help them focus on what they are learning. Positive reinforcement is really big. Instead of constantly pointing out the negatives, try to point out the positives of other people in the classroom. Oh, I love how Jane is sitting down, and oh, I love how Ed is doing his work. Showing the positives can help bring out the positives for the autistic individual also. And another thing she said that is big is just having goals for the student. Sit down in the beginning of the year and write goals with him and yourself, and just write down educational goals. And every time he meets that goal, do something special for that student. Give him a little motivation to keep up the hard work. So the social worker's role in a school setting for an autistic child is to provide support for the family, the student, and the teachers. Like I said, there's a lot of people involved when you mainstream a student. There's always two teachers in the room, the general ed teacher and the special ed teacher. And it's important for them to be on the same page and to understand what needs this child needs to succeed in the classroom. The family needs support in the school district. You're sending your child to a school. You want the best for your child. And for the student as well. Sit down and find out what he or she may need to help better the experience in the classroom. The social worker also provides frequent check-ins with the student just to see how they're doing, if the social worker can do anything to make their experience better. Just a little check-in. They also conduct counseling sessions if the individual needs to talk about anything that's going on, bullying, needs help with friends, or needs help with work, or needs some sort of modifications. They feel comfortable talking about this in this counseling session. A social worker also sits in as an advocate for the child during the IEP and 504 meetings. That meeting consists of the two teachers, the parents, the guidance counselor, the child study team, and the social worker gets to take part of that. And I think it's good because the social worker can bring the information that the student gives to her or him to the meeting, and they can find out how to make the autistic individual's experience at school better and more educated. They also conduct monthly meetings with general education and special education teachers. This is because, like I said, it's important to stay on the same page as the student and as the parents and as the two teachers in the classroom. We want the student to succeed. So I think always open communication with an individual with autism can really, really benefit the child. So it's important to have those meetings, and the social worker can be there to facilitate, to bring ideas, to bring concerns that the student may have. They're just there for as an advocate. So I posted some questions for you guys. The one question is, do you think that all teachers should be able to teach autistic children? This includes special education teachers and general education teachers. And are there other ways that having autism can affect Erickson's stage of development, identity versus role confusion? Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you guys enjoy this.